Hello, and welcome to the fifth episode of Queuing for Steam. As this is the fifth episode, I thought I'd try and do something special, and I would go for a three-part exploration or discovery queue. So let's start it off. Let's see something interesting here. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. 30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed its doors, the events that took place here have become nothing more than rumor and childhood memory. But the owners of Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction, are determined to revive the legend and make the experience as authentic as possible for possible authentic as possible for patrons, going to great lengths to do anything that might have survived decades of neglect and ruin. At first there are only empty shells, a hand, a hook, a old paper plate doll, but then a remarkable discovery is made. Distraction. The attraction now has one automaton. Animatron. No, that was a weird word. Animatronic. Okay. Automaton. Presumed it meant. Oh, quite wrong. Okay, so yeah, like the title suggests, it's the third in the Five Nights at Freddy's games. Basically, being jump scare simulators that put you on edge without really much of a payoff at all, and they're just basically camera browsing and trying to keep yourself alive by doing strange things. The series itself has actually garnered quite an interesting following, and it's actually somewhat an interesting um, mythos, really. That the animatronics and stuff, and that this one seems to be a true sequel, unlike the previous one, which is semi prequel, which is weird. Um, I myself have watched people play through the first two, and I'm not really into horror games all that much, so I'm not gonna. I can't recommend this one, even at $8. That's not that much. And the other two there as well, which are 4 and 7. Oh, $4 and $8 as well. Interesting how there's in a pack for anyone who hasn't bought the previous two or something. That's interesting. But nah, can't recommend it myself. Train Simulator 2015. The best just got better. Dovetail Games pushes the boundaries of simulation once again with the Train Simulator 2015. Mostly positive. Um, yeah, like with Farming Simulator and does other and Euro Truck Simulator, I can't recommend simulator games. They're so boring. Basically, if you wanted to do something with no real payoff, I'd play a grindy game like War Thunder or Aqua Online or just something that has a grind to it and takes a while probably being easily minimizable and um, listening to podcasts in the background. Yeah, it's I don't know. And this one probably is going to have look at it, it's already got the gigantic amount of DLC that the previous ones were renowned for. In fact, this one probably has the previous DLC just built into it as well. Come, God, it's so much. Look at that! Look at that! And they're 50% off. Are you fucking kidding me? 2000, $400 I just rounded out. Jesus Christ. Well, the base game itself is still what's on sale at the moment, but $55. Nope, nope, not at all. Republique Remastered. Developed over 5 years by industry veterans Metal Gear Solid, Halo, and Fear. Fully realized in Unity 5, the Republic Remastered is a thrilling and topical stealth action game that explores the perils of government surveillance in the internet age. Very positive, 90% reviews. I've seen this played, and it's an interesting stealth game where you don't actually play as the main character. You play as someone viewing through cameras, like right there, the main character talking to you through a camera, most likely. It's got some interesting stealth elements, and it's kind of a pretty game from what I've seen on Unity. There's actually some. I'm surprised at what Unity is capable of. In fact, by this game, it had a seemingly interesting storyline. Yeah, like it's got futuristic, no, near futuristic elements and stuff, controlled state and stuff like that. It's on discount at the moment, but it's usually $25. And then there's a deluxe version, which encompasses a soundtrack, a making of, 6-part series, and exclusive prototype versions of the thing. Yeah, interesting. That's something interesting and nice to see people releasing. Yeah, it actually looked pretty interesting. I think I will. I would recommend it. Yeah, probably $25. Well, I think yeah, 20 or even if it goes lower, it's probably quite recommendable. Tabletop Simulator. Tabletop Simulator is the only simulator where you can let your aggression out by flipping the table. I've seen that happen too. There are no rules to follow, just you, a physics sandbox. Those Doom creatures, no, they're not, they're just random monsters. There are no rules to follow, just you, a physics sandbox, and your friends. Make your own games, and play how you want. Unlimited gaming possibilities. Yeah, House of Cards is interesting. I'm moderately positive. It is a pretty interesting thing, but it definitely is multiplayer. There is no way you can play this single player, basically. I don't even think there's AI or anything for you to play against. It's completely multiplayer orientated. Yeah, no negative reviews. It encompasses a great many different types of card and board games. I've seen mostly people play Cards Against Humanity using this. Also, Super Fighters come up once or twice. I've seen videos of that. It's if you can, I guess in a way that might be an interesting thing to try and do dominoes as a single player experience, but generally it's multiplayer only. Yeah, I don't know anyone who'd play this with me actually. So I am going to that. Where did it go? Come on. There we go. I can't really recommend it. Probably because I won't have anyone to play it with me. But it looks really interesting, and if you've got a bunch of friends who are willing to play with you, that's pretty cool. Reassembly. A spaceship building and universe exploration game. Collect resources, expand and grow your fleet, and conquer your own personal galaxy. Stellar ambience by peaks. What the hell does that mean? Okay, so space combat game, top down, sort of 2D looking, with an interesting art style for vehicles. Made out of semi-transparent or colored shapes, not really conventional things. It's interesting, and especially the fact that you can build your own vehicles. Mm, yeah, that's quite interesting. Mm, it's very positive. $14, no, $15 actually. And the soundtrack edition, basically, has extra. Yeah, 19. It's pretty much the right price. Um, Negative reviews. Yeah, it looks rather interesting. Although it's the usual top-down space game cheese going on there. It proved to be interesting. What does the actual gameplay look like though? Okay, HUD. Okay, so there's harvesting materials, building battleships, spaceships. Yeah, interesting use of a polygonal polygons and stuff instead of conventional ship design. Mm, yeah, it's interesting that it has a big dynamic world to it as well, and it isn't early access. So yeah, I think I probably would recommend it. Either $15 or cheaper. Yeah. Nazi Zombie Army Trilogy. The cult horror shooter series comes to an apocalyptic conclusion with an epic third chapter, a heart-pumping new horde mode, and remastered editions of the best-selling Nazi Zombie Army 1 and 2. I've got the first two, and I've actually recently just bought this because there was a big discount for having 1 and 2. There was a 60% off discount, which drove this down to in the teens. So I've personally purchased it. I like the first two. They are fairly boring in single player, though. I must say, there's no. The first one was fairly interesting. It was a quite a new kind of spin on the whole zombies and World War II zombies, basically. That's different to the Call of Duty's one. And yeah, the first one was kind of interesting, though. It was nothing really worth playing through it for. There's no progression systems, no unlocks, nothing really like to speak of. It's just a straight linear sniper shooter with sniper V2's elements put into it. Two then, however, felt very lackluster, and it was almost pieced together out of chunks of just probably from a single player, or it just didn't have much of a feeling to it. It was very lackluster. Three, from what I've seen, because there's a zombie Hitler now, and there's female playable characters, and from what I've seen, there's a more emphasis on an actual physical storyline going on. Before, all the characters were silent and they would move through areas without saying anything, and there wasn't any real storyline. Yeah, lots of these are also bull shots right here as well, but the game, well, except for that, that's one of the few elements of in-game where you get the kill cam. Most of these are bull shots with, yeah, I mean, I've already purchased it, so yeah, it's difficult to recommend. It's much better with friends, obviously, and the third one, if they redo the single player sort of part for 1 and 2, could be worth it, but ultimately, I'm not entirely sure unless you have friends. Basically, it's a good thing if you have friends. Worms Clan Wars. Worms Clan Wars brings friends and families together in a noble pursuit of self-improvement, world domination, and exploding sheep. Worms TM Clan Wars is the biggest and best Worms TM game to date. More worms, larger landscapes, and more dynamic water, more weapons, and more customization items. I think it isn't finished there, but let's see. More customization items than ever before. Worms Clan Wars is designed to take full advantage of the next gen PC hardware. There isn't any next gen PC, it's always constantly updating. It's never next gen. It features beautiful high definition 3D visuals, and it still retains the classic 2D gameplay with new lighting effects, new features, and to help users interact socially. Exciting additions to improve the single player experience and even more entertaining a Worms fan could want. Yeah, they stopped being good after 2, basically. When I think the best version was Worms Armageddon or Worms World War or something like that. I can't remember what that one was called. When they went 3D, they kind of became stupid and they lost what the original feeling and draw of the original games were. I don't know. This has gone back to the whole 2D plane aspect, and I'm not entirely sure. They're still got 3D elements, but it's set on a 2D plane. No, I don't think I can recommend this one. If you're looking for a good one, go find World Worms Armageddon. It's pretty much like the best version of number 2 there is. And it's really a party game to play with friends. I don't know about single player, if there is anything really interesting about this, because there could be, but you're basically just playing an AI game versus single player game versus AI. It's basically that would probably be your single player as such. I can't really recommend it, even that's, well, if you can get it while it's still on sale, maybe, I guess 75% off, or any 60 or higher is always nice. Because it's usually $25, but yeah, I'd say that's probably good if you want it. But I'm not interested by worms. Elder Scrolls Online, oh boy. Elder Scrolls Online is the latest chapter in the award-winning franchise and will bring the legendary experience online for the first time. Whether you play with your friends or adventure alone, alone is quite bad as well. The game's innovative combat system, it isn't very innovative actually, allows you to focus on action and tactics, not the UI. I can see what they mean there. You're not looking at your toolbar for when your next skill recharges, like wow, but ultimately it's still a stifled control combat system. But Skyrim is actually better, and it's a single player game. It's mixed reviews because it is, and is it subscription based, or is it still? Oh, you have to actually purchase it, and then it's subscription based still. Wow, that's bullshit. That is kind of bullshit. Yeah, it needs to go free to play if it has any chance of like standing the test of time, because it's just not worth it. I'd say I don't stand by anything that has a subscription. Constantly leeching money out of your players just so they can actually have access to the game is bullshit in my opinion. Although of course, yeah, you can argue that, oh, how are we supposed to pay these people to develop the game? How are we supposed to pay to keep the servers running? Expansion packs? How does Guild Wars do it? Honestly, um, can't recommend it even. I mean, it's not on sale or anything. There's a subscription, so nope. Damned. Oh yes. Damned, a randomized online horror game. What is Damned? Damned is a what? Why have you just described your game twice in the same one sentence? Jeez. Damned is a randomized online horror game up to 5 players, 4 survivors and 1 monster. You'll be able to play as one of 4 people trapped in different haunted places, mansions, hospitals, etc. Mostly positive, and I think it sort of deserves that, as it's kind of jumping on the bandwagon of scary games, woo, like Slender and other things like that. It's interesting because there's different types of monsters and they have different types of attacks from what I've seen. But you basically, I hate the types of games where they're horror and oh, you can't fight the monster, you're pathetic and feeble, you don't even have a gun. I mean, it's got some interesting elements to it, but I've never actually seen anyone finish the game. Negative reviews. I would say they start by saying the game did not provide a few sessions of fun. Yeah, it can be fun, but it's like Evolve. That being said, there are a number of problems in the game. The premise is very narrow, wears thin quickly. There's no depth to it. And at first, all is scary and you die all the time. You realize you cannot possibly complete this game. Yeah, without studying the particulars of the monster you're facing, the minute you do that, the scariness becomes much disappears, or at least lost. Very hard for the survivors, yeah. I mean, I don't like crap like that where you literally have no way to fight against the monster or whatever's stalking you. I don't like horror games in general, and even if with other player characters, it might be fun, other players with you, but it might be fun, but unless with random pubs, it's probably going to be crap. So, unless you have a group of friends and you're willing to play with, no, I don't think so. Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami is a high-octane action game overflowing with raw brutality, hard-boiled gunplay, and skull-crushing close combat. Overwhelmingly positive. And it deserves that. It is a great game. I myself have it, and I enjoyed it for all of the time period I played it for. I'm really happy a sequel's coming, and I actually pre-ordered that myself. I don't know if it'll pop up in this list or it has already popped up. I can't remember, but it's definitely, and the music's awesome. The visual aesthetic is incredible, and I mean, if you're so worried about the cartoon blood, really, is that really something you should be worried about when you've got much more gruesome things in staple huge genres like Call of Duty that are taken for granted? You really seriously don't have an idea, but yeah, it's quite fun, I must say. I can wholeheartedly recommend it, even because it's quite, and it's not really expensive. $10 for the game at full price because it's kind of old. I'm surprised if you don't own it though. That's really another feature. Yeah. NBA 2K50. For the first time in the franchise history, the PC version of NBA 2K50. Okay, one thing, when you're going 2K and then you're adding 15 to it, why does that K even need to be there? Just call it 2015. You're not shortening it at all by putting a K there. Will be fully featured next-gen experience, nominated for 10 Game of the Year awards, and NBA 2K. 2K is the ultimate basketball simulation experience. That works because you're literally re-rating 3 zeros after it. You're literally saving 2 characters. But putting 2K15 is stupid. Well, if that's in game, that's rather amazing, but I've heard bad things about it. I'm not into sports games at all, so sorry. Goodbye. Dark Souls 2. From the developed from developed from Software. The Dark Souls 2 is a highly anticipated sequel to the grueling 2011 breakout hit Dark Souls. A unique old-school action RPG captivated the imaginations of gamers worldwide with incredible challenge and intense emotional reward. Very positive. Though I don't like the Dark Souls series. I've tried to play one and it was abominable to me. Basically, not even because of the difficulty, because a lot of the time the difficulty is negligible. It's if you die, it's your fault. You weren't paying attention. You weren't playing correctly as such. What I hate is the control system. You literally can go into the game as a rogue wearing leather armor, but he walks around and feels like a tank. Basically, the control system is god awful, and I hated it. You know what is a better for a third person action game? Oni by Bungie Software. If you can track that down, it is the best third person camera control system for any kind of like action game like that. And I wish Dark Souls used it. I wish From Software actually had some idea or time to develop their games properly, because they evidently don't seem to. They get rushed out all the time to try and meet demand, and they suffer for it, in my opinion. Also, the obtuse nature of the storytelling is kind of interesting, but it's also, I just feel it's bullshit. It's like, you could say it's obtuse and it's like, oh, you gotta go search for the story, but I like, that's kind of okay, especially when you get games that throw storyline down your throat. But seriously, it sounds like a cop out, really. You can save so many hours of game design basically by saying, "Oh no, you gotta search for the story." That's kind of lame, actually. So I'm afraid I can't recommend it. And that's the end of the first queue. Let's start this next one. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Welcome back to the new improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As always, Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for the death of dismemberment. Overwhelmingly positive. 97%. Yeah, I'm sure the characters can attack you. That's in game, obviously, because you can't really fake it. Like what I've said about 3, which was the pre-order, This one is fairly good, I guess, if you like horror games, and it's a unique genre, really. The Night Watchman Simulator, looking at cameras, making sure things are where they are, and it could be interesting, but generally I've just watched videos of it on the internet, and I'm not into horror games. Star Trek Online. Star Trek Online, the Star Trek universe appears for the first time in truly massive scale. Players take the captain's chair as they command their own starship and crew, explore strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, and boldly go where no one has gone before. Very positive. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I haven't actually played any of this free to play, which is quite nice, and it has quite a large amount you can play without having to spend anything. There are some free to play games that kind of gate off a lot of content, but as far as I've heard, this one doesn't seem to. But the grind obviously offsets the free to play nature. Um, it's I've heard the space elements are really good. Like as a certain big YouTuber has described it, tall ships in space. It looks really interesting, and but then I've heard the ground combat is some of the worst ever. It's worse than the ground combat for Star Trek game. Oh no, Star Wars game. Excuse me, Old Republic. Where that one was very it's WoW with guns basically, and it's not that great. I've heard this one's similar to it, and it's worse actually. But then the interesting is the offset of ship to ship combat and possibly like intrigue and political agendas and stuff like that with the different factions. And the fact that you just get to, if you're a big Star Trek fan, you fly around the Star Trek universe. It's it's an interesting prospect, I must say. Probably should log a couple of hours into it though, so I'll just check it out myself. Yeah, I'd say it's worth a try. The Talos Principle. Talos Principle is a first-person puzzle game in the tradition of philosophical science fiction, made by Crow Team, the creators of Serious Sam, and written by Tom Jewett, FTL The Swapper, and Jonas Kyrates. Kyratzes. The sea will claim everything. It's me. 87% overall positive. It looked very interesting when I was seeing it. The visual style is interesting with the robotic nature of the main character and certain enemies and such, and the very real world location of a ruined hillside, a ruined rural hillside, which I wonder if it might possibly take from ruins in actual real world, like in Croatia, where Pro Team are from or slash based, or other areas in throughout Europe where there are old ruins. Although that's an interesting environment I haven't seen before. Polar Cap Station or some kind. It had some, the snow-like castle. Interesting. An Egyptian theming with Sears Sam. uh, yeah, it looked a very interesting puzzle kind of game in the vein of like Portal, but without a portal gun. Negative reviews? Nope. And it's gotten a lot of awards, that's one thing for sure. Yeah, it might be rather interesting, though $40, I don't know that price. And then there's DLC for it. Bonus content and prototype DLC. It's like, includes extra 100 puzzles. Yeah, it's exclusive from beta. It's all, kind of like expansions pack. Um, it looks interesting. I probably wouldn't get it at that price though. Although, yeah, would I really purchase it? Yeah, I probably would. Just like I said, not at that price. Garry's mods. Garry's mod is a physics sandbox. There aren't any predefined aims or goals. We will give you the tools to leave you to play. Overwhelmingly positive. I own Garry's mod, and I have done nothing with it. I can't find a use for it. I mean, I guess I could do Machinima using Half-Life or other imported characters. I guess you could play Trouble in Terrace Town, Prop Hunt, and the other weird supports and little mini games that are built out of it. Though I'll generally say those are fairly useless unless you're really going for interesting. Going for making machinima, and then even at that, there's Source Filmmaker, which is possibly a better tool for actually making films and stuff using the Source engine or Source characters, etc. Probably the only real recommendation nowadays really for it is you can get it if you want to play Trouble in Terrace Town or Prop Hunt, or one of the other ones the big YouTubers are playing at the moment. And even at then, I'd say that's rather useless unless you've got a group of friends who want to play with you. So I would not actually recommend it unless you feel the necessary need to own it, because it's not too expensive, and if it goes on sale, which it usually does on a big sale, yeah, you can get it just to say you have it, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend it. BloodLust Shadowhunter. Oh, early access game. BloodLust is a dungeon crawling action RPG experience which will allow players to explore the dark underworld of a forgotten society of vampires and their disciples, all while trying to battle a hierarchy among the clans and search for their sire. Positive. Oh, okay, there's only 10 reviews and it's 100% at the moment. Yeah, it's fairly new. Assume from that, yeah, 2015 just came out a couple of days ago. What the hell? Okay, those two girls in Lolita Gothic wear do not look like to belong in the environment. Wow, that is weird. Yeah, okay, it looks fairly interesting. Yeah, these are all in-game, I could definitely say. That's one being the only bullshot there. Yeah, in-game. It looks a lot like, what was it called? Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. That one was that's an old game too, but it's very, very good, especially with the modding community out there. Modded it to work properly. Because the original developer unfortunately went down after they made the game, and they couldn't really produce any patches much afterwards. It reminds me a lot of that, but I guess it's third person, some first person, no, it's mostly third person, and then or is it? Can you change? Can you? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yep. Give me some gameplay. Give me some gameplay. Okay, you play as a spirit. Okay. Well, glowy eyes for a vampire. Character. Ooh, ghouly monsters. Okay, so it's third person. It's a combat game with some skills and stuff. Skill trees, a questing system, inventory. Um, Big numbers. Yeah, lots of damage. It looks very MMO-y actually, which is funny. I must say, kind of MMO-y, and basically if you want to play an MMO, a vampire MMO, go play Nosgoth. It's a much better game. Yeah, I can't say I'd recommend this even at $13. Just doesn't look very nice. Yeah, I'd wait till it's done maybe. Further along it might improve. The Repopulation. Sci-fi MMORPG that's also in early access. Great. The Repopulation is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game in a science fiction setting. Like we don't already have a couple of those. In many ways, it is a throwback to the social aspects and sandbox-driven gameplay that made titles like Star Wars Galaxies and Ultima Online successful, including socially oriented gameplay and complex. Yeah, you could have just stopped it there and dropped that part. Why don't they fit the fucking explanations into that box? It's also more recent innovations and Trilogy of some unique wrinkles. Is it going to be defined enough from other MMORPGs? I'm guessing these are in-game, but they look at those actual gameplay. More goal shots, more goal shots. Goal shot. So one in-game screenshot is all you have. There's the map, there's the questing system, there's the mini-map, there's the action bar. Is this going to be different to just WoW with a sci-fi overcoat? Let's see. Hello, do you have still screenshots in your fucking video? Where's the actual video? Are you fucking kidding me? Alpha footage, yep. Some of the subjects we change because it's early access and not done yet. Okay. Yeah, you're looking like Star Wars Old Republic. Running around, character, derp derp. Yeah, you know what? Play Star Wars Old Republic. Screw this. Even at $15 worth of being a discounted, no, I don't think it's worth it. There's too many bloody MMOs out there. Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition. Take to the skies in the world's favorite flight simulator. Well, a multi-award winning Microsoft Flight Simulator X lands on Steam for the first time. Take off from anywhere in the world, flying some of the world's most iconic aircraft to any one of 24,000 destinations. Very positive. Again, simulators, I'm not sure I like them. I played a bit of simulator a long time ago. I actually have the game F-22 Raptor, and even for a combat simulator, it is boring. It is so goddamn boring. We're flying around and thing. I don't even. I play War Thunder Air, and I don't even touch the multiplayer or the simulator part of it. I always just play the arcade games. And, I don't know. I can't recommend it. $25. If you're an enthusiast, yeah, I guess so. But even at that, I'd probably wait till it's on sale. But Resident Evil Biohazard HD Remaster. The game that defines survival horror genre is back. Check out the remastered HD version of Resident Evil. Yeah, I like it. I like the original Resident Evil, and this kind of looks to be a very faithful reimagining or faithful remastering. Actually, excuse me, because it really is remastered in every sense of the word, even if it is just a port of the GameCube version, which I feared it is not. They've taken at least the steps to improve the overall was a control system, etc. And yeah, I would say it's really good. $20. I guess that's all right. I'd probably wait till it goes into the teens when it's on a sale. Don't know if there's any real replay value because it doesn't have like a horde mode or a what they call it raid mode. Though it is it's a really nice looking game in some respects, and it is it's the true survival genre, the survival horror. Resident Evil 6 and 5, they really abandoned that type of thing, and I would recommend it. Yeah. And so Sunless Sea. Lose your mind, eat your crew, die. Take the helm of your steamship and set sail for the unknown. Sunless Sea is a game of discovery, loneliness, and frequent death, set in the award-winning Victorian Gothic universe of Fallen London. Very positive. Whoa, that's interesting. because yeah, there's your ship and sailing around. So those are giant statues in the water. Yeah, sea statues too. I've seen this played and it looks very intriguing, I must say. The exploration aspect is very interesting, along with the crew management and the resource management and the battles. It's very interesting. And it's a completely weird and alien environment, even though it's mostly shown from this top-down perspective. And it also goes beyond that with a really interesting storytelling, um, interesting storytelling aspect of the world is so alien, and just yeah, it's a certain someone did it really well. And yes, it is quite like FTL in some respects. I would say yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. I don't know, it's $19. I'll probably wait till it goes on sale myself, but I definitely recommend it. It looks really good if you're into the expansive storyline as well. Rome 2 Emperor Edition. About Total War Rome 2 Emperor. What? This was copy pasted out of a README file, fuck's sakes, or something. What the fuck is that? Emperor Edition is the definitive edition of Rome 2. Okay, probably because they shortchanged it, and this isn't Total War Rome 2. They've updated it, and fuck, that's a weird description. Way. Emperor Edition is definitive edition Rome 2. It features an improved politics and overhauled building chains, rebalanced battles, and improved visuals of both campaign and battle. So basically, they fixed the version that came out originally, which was bugged as shit. I own and have played Shogun 2, and I liked it quite a bit for what little I have played of it. I haven't seen a very big increase in. I mean, and then there's DLC. There's DLC up the ass for it, and it's mostly just like little factions. But hell, Shogun had that, and I bought it all. $60 roughly. I, if you don't own any of the other previous Total War games, or especially don't own Rome 1, because that has some amazing mods, or even Medieval 2, if you don't own it, then only then I guess I could recommend this maybe, but ultimately if you own one of the previous ones, I wouldn't say this is a good game. No thanks. Never Alone. Kashima Igichua. Built in the partnership with the Alaskan Native community, Never Alone is an atmospheric puzzle platformer which explores the harsh and vibrant world of Alaskan Native stories. Delve deeply into the traditional lore of the Inuit people of the Arctic for a game experience like no other. 86. Mostly very positive. I've seen this played and it looks very intriguing for a puzzle platformer. The story itself is also is also rather intriguing as well, but I'm not entirely sure because I don't know if because yeah, as a bit of an imperialist myself, I feel stories of native tribes are somewhat boring and underwhelming. But I guess then I'm just a horrible person. Maybe it's hard. Uh, I mean, these are all in game. The gameplay just looks like that. Just very, very minimal HUD. Um, it's an enchanting story, I guess. Maybe I'll give it a go. Ooh, especially now it's on sale for quite a good amount. $9. That actually looks like it could be worth it. It's interesting. I'll give it a go. Look sometime. Dominion 4, Thrones of Ascension. You are a god, and are master and ruler of a loyal nation. You have unimaginable powers at your disposal and have claimed this world as yours, but there are others who stand in the way. You must defeat and destroy these pretenders. Only then can you ascend to godhood and become the new what? The new rest of the description? Where is that? Come on. Please, for fuck's sake. can send the god out and become the new Pantocantor. Krator. What is that word? Is that a made up nonsensical word from a freaking fictional game? Bet it is. Well, already the screenshots look rather underwhelming. Oh my, 2D animated sprites, interesting. Launch landscape, yeah, it's a big overworld thing. From a game in 2013 to have 2D mass 2D sprites like that really doesn't. I mean, that looks like the editor from the. Yeah, I can see the grid system unless you move like that. Yeah, 2D sprites really. When you've got big boys, well, I guess they are. It's difficult to argue they have the big boys have the budget for it, but seriously, it looks laughable. It looks laughable, although an interesting faction of mermen there. That's something you don't really see. Select physical form. Oh, because as like a god, you take physical form on the world. That's a fairly interesting aspect. I guess really, if in the same vein, if you don't have one of the Total War games or a mass battle domination type, world domination type of game, like Age of Wonders or yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, it's got an interesting take on it. It's also on sale, though it usually is $35. I don't think I'd pay $35 for that. 17, actually 17.5, $18. I'm not even sure. I'd even pay that for it. 50. I'd probably wait till it's at 60 or more. Even at that, I'm not too sure. I mean, unless you're looking for a thing with fantasy characters and interesting fantasy factions, I guess. It could be interesting, but I'm not going to recommend it. Alright, that was our second queue. Let's do the third and final queue. Five Nights at Freddy's. These have just been coming up lately. It's weird. Welcome to your new summer job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where kids and parents alike come for the entertainment and food. The main attraction is Freddy Fazbear, of course, and his two friends. They are animatronic robots programmed to please the crowds and murder them. Overwhelmingly positive. Yeah, I've pretty much. If you're interested at all, really, you'd have this. As the other two, you really probably would have them. Like I've said before, it's an interesting take on the genre. And if you like horror or want to make a YouTube series of it, I guess, then I guess you can buy it then. But I'm not into it. Not into horror, even though it's pretty cool. Shadow Warrior. Shadow Warrior is a bold reimagining of the classic CD-ROM shooter for independent developer Flying Wild Hog, the makers of Hard Reset. Starring the legendary and quick-witted warrior Lo Wang. Combine the brute force and overwhelming firepower with the elegant precision of a katana, and annihilate the merciless. No, why did you do this? I like this game a lot. Yeah, 95%. Merciless armies of the Shadow Realm, an exhilarating and visually stunning transformation of the first-person action shooter. Why? I mean, why doesn't Steam just show you? Developers, please. Or Steam, actually. This one I would highly recommend immediately. I own it. It's awesome, and it goes on discount quite often, and that's a really nice discount for it. $40. It's yeah, I'd say it's pretty good for that price. Maybe 20. I'd really give it. Being a penny pinching miser that I am. Yeah, I can highly recommend it. It's an excellent gameplay, especially the sword with its many special powers and dismembering combat system. It's incredible. The gunplay also feels really nice. It's got a really interesting restart story that's completely redo of the original one, which had almost no story to speak of. Yeah, I'd highly recommend this. And What's the special edition upgrade? What are you? Oh, right, the I got that as well. And you get a free version of Visual Cleanup Detail if you know about that game, the Janitor Simulator, which is really good. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it. HuniePop. Oh boy. HuniePop is a unique sim experience, dating sim experience for the PC, Mac, and Linux. Why really dating sim? Because it's more a dating sim than it is an actual. Yeah, there we go, dating sim. It's not really a visual novel as per se like the other ones are that normally gets accidentally reclassified as or misclassified as a dating sim. Its gameplay first approach, that's part dating sim, part puzzle game, the light RPG elements, the visual novel style of representation. Yeah, I get visual novel. In fact, I just have a character and dialogue down the bottom, which also happens in some dating sims. Visual novels and abrasive Western style make it plenty of plot. Yeah, when they say abrasive, they mean abrasive. That's one of the freaking store pictures. Yeah, indeed. Um, and then there's specific characters who are just completely worthless human beings or horrible, wretched, vile creatures wearing human disguises. Yeah, and it's got an interesting match 3 system that actually looks quite rather addictive from what I've seen play. Um, I don't know. I've played a couple of visual novels in my time, if you can say that really for how young I actually am. And they can be quite nice, but this is not it's not one of them. This is something else. It's oh jeez. It, it's good for a laugh, really. Basically, um, $10. Yeah, that's probably pretty good for what it is. Yeah, it's a good comedy game. I'd probably recommend it if you want to have a laugh. Although there's probably plenty of videos out there on the internet. I don't know about digital art. That could be interesting, seeing artwork of the characters and stuff like that. But otherwise, there are plenty of other things on the internet. But it could be good for a laugh. It's fairly cheap too. One Finger Death Punch. Experience the cinematic kung fu battles and the fastest, most intense brawl in the indie world ever seen, with the unique one-to-one response system of the One Finger Death Punch. Players feel the immediate feedback of every bone-crunching hit, pay tribute to the masters using 5 classic kung fu styles mixed. Mixed with what, please? Great promise fighter, Magus fighter, yeah, yeah. It is very interesting looking from what I've seen played. My only downside about probably is it really looks amateur. The, the black and white character, and the black stick figure characters and white stick figure characters with the crazy, very busy looking art style in the background is a bit overboard, but it's got an interesting system where you basically are just it's literally one button presses, um, left and right, or bumpers in this case. I believe it's being played through a with a gamepad. And then there's an interesting boss system where you gotta oh no, it's actually mouse clicking. Excuse me. Where yeah you have to tap in the rhythm to like to the signals on the screen, similar to maybe Dance Dance Revolution or Guitar Hero. Actually, it's rather interesting simplification, really. Then there's different power-ups you can purchase through the in-game currency, which I guess you score, yeah, which is score-based. Yeah, and there's some crazy-looking visual aesthetics and stuff. And it's only for $5 basically. That's quite cheap for yeah, 99%. It's almost perfect. Is apparently what that's saying. Um, yeah, I would actually recommend that. It looks visually busy, but it generally looks rather appealing for a crazy, overpowered murder simulator. Kung Fu murder simulator. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. Screencheat. This is interesting, this game. Screencheat is an online, offline, multi-screen, multiplayer FPS where everyone is invisible and you have to cheat to win. Yeah, that's big trouble. But remember when looking at your friend's screen in GoldenEye was frowned upon? Well, those days are gone, and screen cheats, we encourage it. Yeah, because you literally can't see the enemy player other than looking at their screen and judging where they are in the map while looking at that screen. It's very interesting concept, though it basically doesn't go any further than a party game. It doesn't have any single player. The visual aesthetics rather interesting, though basic. In a, I mean, it could be a mod, a source mod, really. You could probably build this inside of Garry's mod, in all of your honesty. It's an interesting game, but unless you have like friends, okay, it's actually pretty good on sale. Moments, $15 usually, but heck, they charge more for Mario Party. Though Mario Party does have a lot of different games within it. This just basically has a first-person shooter where you have to look at the enemy screen with different, it's like game modes in it. I've seen, and wacky weapons. I don't know. There's a full pack which is rather cheap, but it's highly recommended though. But I'm afraid I can't really recommend it unless you have friends who want to play it with you and for an interesting experience. I mean, it would also make very good, interesting couch co-op if you're capable of doing that. But meh. Squishy the Suicidal Pig, indeed. From the creators of Hero Siege, Squishy the Suicidal Pig is a puzzle platformer with a counterintuitive goal where you play a Squishy, a pig wearing a yellow sweater, who's trying to reach his parents in animal heaven by completing his deal with the devil. You asked for a challenge, now you what? Now you find out where the rest of the damn explanation is. Who's trying to deal with the devil? You asked for a challenging. Where's it? You asked for a challenge, now you have it. That why is please format your fucking explanations better. I could have stopped it right there. Which I don't know. This interesting. I mean, that's all game screenshots. Ooh, it's an Angry Bird reference. Whoa. I think that's a Portal reference right there. Yeah, 2D Portal reference with another one. Natural Buffalo one. And Jesse Boone Coyote. I'm not even sure if that's a reference to anything. I mean, it's an interesting concept where you have to basically get the character killed, but how do you progress? That does seem counterintuitive. How does that play? That just seems, oh jeez, that is a discount on it. That is a discount right now. It's usually $3, which maybe that's okay to that price actually. 95% off. Jeez, that's a good amount. Let's just see what the visual gameplay is like, because I can't make it out with those screenshots. Overworld. I'm not seeing the pig killing himself. Platform, yep. Angry Birds, like I said. Yeah. How is this any different from a... Okay, I mean, yeah, boss fights, that's nice. But if he's trying to kill himself, he's doing a very bad job of it. I literally don't understand why they even called it that. He's not trying to kill himself, so then what's the purpose of the game? I guess it's just a platformer. don't know why the concept is there. That doesn't seem to actually do what it says. Kill a character sounds easy. It's not. How? I've seen many ways in that trailer just to get yourself killed. There's spikes and all kinds of crap, and there's enemies that will kill you. So that seems rather silly. Um, Unless you're supposed to kill yourself in specific ways that is set throughout the gameplay, I don't know. But maybe it's interesting to look at for $3 or even ground rock bottom price of 14 cents. Jeez, I probably could recommend that. Yeah, it's not too bad. Probably worth a look at. Creativerse. Wow, it looks like Minecraft. Creativerse is a sandbox adventure game set in a beautiful yet treacherous world shrouded in mystery. Attention, Creativerse will be free to play at launch. Okay. We are charging for alpha access for those who want to contribute to the game's development and their feedback. It will be free to play at launch? What does that mean? I mean, how will you make money then? Just by buying the early access? Early access will fund it, and then what? You stop after that? I fail to see how this is different from just Minecraft. Yeah, it's lava. It's basically just Minecraft with a HD texture pack. And it's early access, which means it isn't finished. How much was it? $20, really? I think I can buy Minecraft for less. And it's a more complete game. Really? Really? Yeah, Minecraft-esque. It basically might as well just be Minecraft. No thanks. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition. Welcome back to New Vegas. Jump in with this complete set that includes all of the claimed add-on content. Overwhelmingly positive, which yeah, it is. I own it, so I will have to recommend it because it is a really, really, really good game. I mean, New Vegas outdoes Fallout 3 really well, even though it is buggy at places. But that's basically Bethesda games are just like that. Possibly might just be an issue with their overall engine. But yeah, Old World Blues is an amazing add-on. So now that is Lonesome Road, which I played through, and it's pretty good. It's got some interesting things about it. Yeah, that yeah, Dog, which is from the wasn't that Old Money? Oh, Dead Money and Stalkers, which was an interesting add-on, but it's kind of underwhelming eventually. Oh, and then there's that's what was it now? It's Mr. Bandage Man himself. That was the one with the natives, kind of Indians in it. But no, it's got hours and hours of gameplay, a very interesting story and world it's set in. If you liked Fallout 3, this is definitely a good game. Um, it's also got a very large modding community, although it doesn't have a built-in modding system like uh, Skyrim does. The Steam Workshop, it doesn't have that. The mods I found are pretty easy, and there's lots of fixes for it if you feel like it's crashing too much or it's too buggy. Um, it really does. It really has hours and hours of potential play, and it's a very interesting game. Yeah. No negative recommendations, and it's $20 for something that probably cost a lot more when it came out. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah. Terraria. Dig, fight, explore, build. Nothing is impossible in this action-packed adventure. 4 backups are available. Yeah, I guess. Overwhelmingly positive, and it probably deserves that because it really is a very good 2D side-scrolling adventure game, or sandbox game even as well. And it's only $10. It's pretty cheap for a full pack as well. It's got tons and tons of content as well. If you're looking for I mean, it also got lots of people compare it to Minecraft in that aspect, but that's also slightly unfair because well, where Minecraft mostly excels of you gathering resources to build what you want. This is mostly about exploring and actually power and then leveling up your character and getting good gear for also now taking on new bosses and things. It has a much more adventure like elements to it, whereas Minecraft is more creative element. Although that's not to say you can't build massive castles, sky fortresses, and all kinds of things in Terraria. It's just it's more the gameplay is more focused on the actual exploration and adventure. Um, I've played a lot of good hours of this, and it is an entertaining game. It's got a lot of end game content as well. It just carries on going, and they're even continuing to develop it. Relogic, the guys I mentioned before, who are some of the members are making Starbound, which I believe is not as complete as this in the aspect of really exploring and adventuring and stuff. As far as I can remember, I have not seen the winter update for that game. This one, though, I must say, it's still getting content, and it's cheap, and it's a really good side-scrolling adventure game. rFactor. rFactor is a realistic, or is a rFactor? I don't know. It's a realistic, easy, extendable racing simulation from Image Space Incorporated. It offers the latest in vehicle and race customization, great graphics, outstanding multiplayer, and the height of racing realism. It's positive with only 5 reviews at the moment. It's really new, yeah. And not a lot of people have it, I assume, because it's a racing simulator, not an arcade simulator. Arcade racer. Like in the vein of Need for Speed or it's usually $25, but it's currently on sale, 21. I wouldn't even get it for that probably, because I don't like racing simulators. Arcade racers, yeah, maybe, but not this probably. Dungeon Defenders 2. Dungeon Defenders 2 is an action tower defense game with classic role-playing elements like loot and leveling. The old one's armies have invaded, and it's up to you and your friends to push it back. Level up a team of heroes and build the ultimate defense on your quest to save Eternia. Very positive. I own the original, and it was pretty fun for all of the aspects of it. I played a lot of it with a couple of friends, level up the characters and stuff. But oh god, the grind to get up to the top level, and it was a real big thing about loot and stuff like that in that game. It was crazy. It's pretty fun for like I said, an action tower defense where you control a character and you can still put down towers to defend lanes and stuff like that. This one looks like it has a bit of a better visual overall aesthetic. Oh no, better overall visual quality, while the aesthetic remains much the same with a cartoony look to it. And yeah, although the characters seem to have aged a bit because they were short, dumpy little chibi things before. It is also in early access, so it's not complete for $25. It is a collector's edition, which encompasses what? That's 2, early access, blah blah blah. So you get a bunch of hats and stuff. Oh, there's in-game currency as well. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, because there was. Yeah, you get gems and you can spend them on stuff. Exclusive hero skins, tower skins, Dragonfall Defender title. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't even play the Dungeon Defenders anymore because the people I don't play with have moved on. I don't know if I really get this. I'll probably wait till it's done. Catacomb Kids, right? Catacomb Kids is a brutal platformer roguelike, oh great, another one, that pits you against deadly catacombs aided by only magic, steel, and your quick reflexes. Traverse procedural generated dungeons and hack and burn your way through the hordes of things that want to kill you. Very positive. So how many reviews are there? 97, and it hasn't been out for that for a long time, it's fairly new. And it's early access, great. So yeah, you get level ups. Like I said, it's a roguelike, so it's RPG-esque, side-scrolling, randomized dungeon and stuff. It's all right looking. There's a good couple other games I like this out there. There's that one that Rogue Legacy springs to mind immediately. Then there was also one I have called uh, Legend of Dungeon, I believe it was called. Yeah, that one's also pretty good, although it's a slightly isometric look to it. Well, this is just straight up 2D with a sprite-based system. Sprite-based. Oh, okay, that's 3D cool. I think there actually, but it's. And then there's sprites. Yeah, I don't know. 15 or $16. I'll probably wait till it's done. Finish the queue, and that concludes the 3 queue bonanza that I did for this title, for this episode. Excuse me. I will come back with something new tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, see ya.